What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I go over all of the lines of sight, as well as any other sort of secret spots and common spawn locations on every map in Modern Warfare. In today's episode, we're finally going to be moving on to Azhir Cave. And first up, I wanted to start it off over by the Domination Flag. This is a great spot primarily for the Infected game mode. If you ever play Infected, you'll know that right up here is a super common spot for people to sit with a barricade right in front of them, and they'll just be watching this ladder right here. You might also just find campers in other modes sitting there, and it seems like the ladder's the only way up, so it's really easy for them to lock that down. However, there's actually another very easy way up here. If you just hop up to the edge of this wall like this, from here, you can quite easily jump to this, and then from this, you can make your way over like this and peek them like that, or you can simply jump up like that and then challenge these people that are up here, and they often don't see that one coming. Next up, getting into the cave area here, having a look towards the Domination area. This is a very common spot for people to just sit and basically hang out all game. Just wanted to show that there is an alternative here. If you jump up on top of this box right here, it gives you a nice piece of cover to look in towards the Domination Flag. And this is a great spot for locking down that lane. You are a lot more limited in what you can see though. And since this video is more so about trying to counter the campers, when you get somebody that's camping up in that area there, a great way to challenge them, if you can manage to get yourself right up into this area right here, is by simply head glitching this box and countering them that way if you've got a sniper rifle or a very, very accurate gun of some sort. Additionally, from this spot here, I did want to point out, to counter the people that will just camp up in that area there, you can really easily shoot them through this little crack here, and they usually don't see you through that. Another thing to look out for is this area of the cave right here. Oftentimes people will jump up like this, and this is a great way to challenge people that might be sitting on that really common piece of cover there. It's not a great place to linger though, because you can get flanked pretty easily by standing up here. Now, pushing our way through the cave towards the Domination Flag, just wanted to point out a great way to challenge the people that are in that window there. Sometimes they'll just sit there and lock this entire cave entrance down so you can't get around to the A flag. An excellent way to take them out is to simply jump into the back of this truck here. And all you have to do is jump up onto the bench, and from here you've got an excellent piece of cover. You can crouch to take cover, stand up, and you have a perfect line of sight on them with excellent cover between you. Now, getting over to this building here, this is also a spot that's really good for Infected, but also good in some other game modes. If you get a camper on the rooftop with a claymore setup, for instance, a lot of people know that you can go on the ladder to get up to the rooftop, and that's pretty straightforward. That's what they expect, and they'll often have a claymore setup here, or in the case of Infected, they'll just be sitting and watching the ladder. A great way to take them out is to simply jump up on top of this, and there you go. You hop up this way. People still don't see that one coming for whatever reason. Also, another alternative when you get people that are smart enough to also cover this area with a claymore is to jump up onto this fence here, and from there you can jump to this spot, and then you can pick those people off, and you can easily avoid any claymores that are on the ladder as well as that other spot there. Now, getting up to this area here, a super common spot for people to sit is in the rug shop in that window right there. A great way to challenge them if you're coming off the A spawn and you've got a really accurate gun, like a sniper rifle, for instance, is to hop up on this kind of handrail area right here, crouch, and then you can peek just as much as you want to expose yourself to those people in that window, or even in that side of the window there, but it's more common that they're in that window right there. A little alternative is you can jump up on this wall right here and get basically the same line of sight there. Now, over in this area here, if you want to get onto the bridge, most people will go all the way around to get up on the bridge. A lot of people don't realize, though, that you can simply run up like this and jump your way onto the bridge super, super easily. Now, getting into this tower area right here, a lot of people will run straight through this, and anybody in that window will easily pick them off as they come through this doorway, because it's a pretty common choke point. So instead, if you just zip across like that, now you can use this window to challenge people that are over there. And I don't see a lot of people taking advantage of this window, so just something I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of. Getting into the middle map area, this little plank bridge here is something that, in my opinion, you should almost never be crossing. Unless you know that it's completely safe in the mid-map area and you just want to zip across quickly. Doesn't matter which direction you're coming from, it's almost always in your best interest to approach from down below, because if you approach from this direction here, you get a great little peek here, kind of a head glitch on people that might be sitting up there, so you can pick them off and they won't expect that, compared to running out in the open on this plank bridge. And then from here, of course, you can just mantle up and you're good to go. And additionally, coming on this side, if you're running across the bridge, you're exposing yourself for far too long. You're much better off dropping down like this and then using this piece of cover to check everything. Moving into the rug shop here, which is one of the most common spots for people to camp in this entire map. A lot of people, they'll like lock down that particular area from this window, or they'll challenge people that are right here, and that's pretty much a 50-50 fight. It's pretty fair at that point. So instead, just a little alternative to challenge those people is if you jump up right here, you can actually get a decent little line of sight in towards that building through this window, and also people that are coming around that corner right there. You might be able to pick them off from this area, and they will never see this one coming. Now, speaking of this area here, if you want to get yourself up there, instead of going all the way around to get up there, you can actually just jump right up into this area like that and get yourself up here. That's something that I use actually quite often while playing this map. Now, if you're coming from this CDOM area and you're pushing around this corner, like I said, oftentimes people would be in that window just pre-aiming this corner, and they'll pick you off just as you come around, and you've got no cover to challenge them with. So a great way to prepare for those people, or just check for those people if you suspect they might be there, is to jump up on this blue barrel and crouch. There you go. You get a great line of sight on that, great piece of cover so you can pick those people off in the window, and you have a much better chance in this gunfight. Now, getting over to this area here, I've got a pretty cool line of sight for you. It's not the most practical, but it can help in some situations. And this is from these blue barrels, you can hop up on top of this. And then from here, you get an excellent line of sight on people that are coming through this way. And also those windows back there. This is a place that they're almost never checking, so they will often not see you until they're already dead. Now, if you're coming up through this area here and you suspect you might run into an enemy face to face as you come through here, that's a 50-50 fight, and we like to avoid those. So a better way to approach that area if you suspect you're going to run into people there, and of course, assuming you have mid-map control, is to come up along the side here, and that gives you much better cover to challenge those people as they come around. And then if you don't see them, you can simply jump up and continue along your way. So finally, as you're approaching the sea domination area, sometimes you get those people that just camp the back of their spawns in that window there. If you can get yourself to this point here, a great way to challenge them, instead of coming up to the barrel, which is exactly what they'll expect you to do next, all you have to do is jump up on this wall right here, and you can peek over top, and you can see just the tip of their head here, and you might be able to pick them off. But with that pretty much covers it for all of the little lines of sight, as well as different ways to approach situations on Azhir Cave. Now let's move into the most common spawn locations, keeping in mind this is more so geared towards domination. However, most of these spawn points will also apply to other game modes as well. And first up, having a look at the primary spawn locations, there's no surprise here whatsoever. These primary spawns are right at the back of the spawn, right where you initially spawn, so I don't think this will come as a surprise to anybody where these ones are. And these are the ones you'll tend to see most of the time. But then we have these secondary spawns. At least in Domination, I consider these to be secondary spawns. You see these two spawn locations quite commonly as well. And finally, we have a ton of other spawn points that you get fairly frequently on Azhir Cave. It's kind of crazy. There are spawn points just everywhere, scattered all over this map. And it really seems almost randomized as far as these spawn points go. Like, not completely randomized, but when you have the A Domination Flag, for instance, you could honestly spawn at any of those spawn points surrounding the ADOM flag, and normally if I can see the location of all the players on the map, like if I have an overhead view, I can tell you with pretty good accuracy the exact spawn point you're going to get. I can't do that on this map. There are just so many spawn points that you can potentially spawn at, and I just wanted to show off that that's the case with this map. But with that, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's episode of Maps Exposed on Azhir Cave. As for my thoughts on this map, I'm personally not the biggest fan of Azhir Cave. I think there's just too many dark spots, too many head glitches that I didn't show you in this video because I don't want to encourage that too much. There's just too many areas where you can sit and lock down a lane way too comfortably while being practically invisible to the enemy players. And depending on the game mode, of course, I think this map has a problem with flow. There is some weird flow on this map and a lack of flow in certain areas, and therefore it's just not one of my favorites. But of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what is your opinion on Azhir Cave overall? Do you like this map, dislike it, or are you just kind of indifferent? Just let me know those thoughts in those comment section down below. And also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Maps Exposed, I think I've now covered all of these 6v6 maps. I will of course leave a link to the playlist in the description down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.